Hello guys, welcome back to the Bookla channel. In today's episode, I will show you how to build a complete booking website for a company that sells beach activities. These companies require a complex booking system because they have many different activities with many different resources in different quantities with different schedules and with different prices. I'm gonna show you how to integrate promo code, gift cards, subscriptions, notifications, QR codes, payments, and reminders, and much more, so you can really impress the person you're building this website for. Because what the business owners really want to hear is how are you going to increase their profit, and to do that, it requires much more than a picture and a contact me form. So if you're ready to build the most professional booking website for a beach activity company, then let's begin. Okay, so this is our project for today. This is what we need to turn into an actual tool for the business owner. Right now we have a beautiful template that we got from Framer for free. It's a very nice design digital magazine because so far the only thing that you can do is look at the pictures and that's it. There is no actual functionality that will allow you to increase revenue or upsell services or handle any agenda, which is what the business owner cares. And it's what we web developers get paid for, to make their lives easier, not to provide a beautiful piece of information, right? So the beaching is because a lot of beach activities. But beaching is what we're going to get if we submit this web after charging $2,000, $3,000, and then the business owner has this. Send me a message. So imagine for a second that you are a customer of this business and you want to go there. So you will fill out your data and type, can I go now? Meanwhile, you are with your couple waiting for this jet ski rental and you send a message. The business owner is busy waxing some surfboards or some tuning up some jet skis or taking care of another customers and nobody knows. At the end of the day, the business owner will see this, he will be frustrated, and he will remember you and say, this web is just crap, because now I have more work. Before they called me on the phone and I picked up. Now they send me an email and I don't know, which is true. So how do we actually charge way more money for this project? And how do we make the owner of this web happy? Well, we explained that he can upsell towels. He can have cancellation policy that whenever you don't go there, you can keep the money. He can have more free time because everything happens automatically and then there is not gonna be anything that he needs to do besides providing a nice service. Now we are understanding the same language. He knows that you're gonna provide him with the ability to make more profit, and then you look like a hero because you know a lot about webs. So please don't do these webs with a contact me form. Let me show you how to turn it into an actual tool that will benefit them and will make you look like a rock star. For that, we need a powerful booking engine, and we're gonna find it very simply. Bookla.com. So whenever we go to Bookla.com, this is going to be the brain behind everything, right? We're gonna sign in, and we're gonna land here. Here is where we add our resources, our services, and our plugins. We can add as many as you need, or you cannot add any if you don't need any. But I suggest you do, because with just one click, your project will be a lot more valuable to the final customer. This is Bookla right here, and this is Framer right here. How do we merge these two things? It's very simple, because here on Framer, as you know, you can just drag and drop things into place. And that's what we're going to do with Bookla. We're gonna go into plugins right here, and then we're gonna click on browse all. We're gonna type Bookla and it's gonna be there. In case that you don't have Bookla pre-installed, what do you do then? It's very simple. We're gonna go to browse all, browse plugins, and we're gonna go to the plugins marketplace, which we're gonna look for Bookla. Bookla is going to be right here on the left. We click on it and then we say open plugin, and then we click the project that we're working on. It will take you straight up to your website. And then you need to pick if it's fixed, flexible, group, ticket, membership, subscription, gift card. But don't worry about this right now because I will show you exactly what you need. We understand that we're making this website into something that has a lot more value, so you can charge more and the business owner can enjoy more. Let's go to Bookla to start creating the services that we have here. Jet ski rental, paddle surf rental, advanced surfing training, and snorkeling experiences. This is going to be our services. So back in Bookla, the first thing that we need to do is to add a service. We click on new service and we give it a name, jet ski rental. Next, now we need to choose the service type. Will it be fixed? Meaning that it happens whenever we want it to happen, like a yoga lesson at 3 a.m. or at 3 p.m. Well, there could be yoga lessons very late, right? Or it's flexible, so you can buy hour increments like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I guess this is the type that we need, so you can rent as much time as you need, within our constraints, of course. So we're gonna click next. And now we need to allocate a booking interval. Do you want to rent these jet skis by the hour or by the minute, by the half an hour? So let's say that you can rent it by the hour. But if you wanted to rent it every 30 minutes, you could set 30 minutes here. And then the booking policy is instant, because you can just click the button and it will be booked. Requires confirmation in case that the business owner wants to confirm every booking before it happens, or it needs a prepayment. In this case, as soon as you pay, it will be confirmed. Let's keep it instant for now, and then we'll change later on. Okay, that easy, we have a service. Now we need to have a resource. So if we're renting a jet ski, the resource has to be a jet ski. If we were giving yoga lessons, the resource could be the yoga instructor or the yoga room. If we are providing vacational renting, then the resource is the home. Whatever is providing the service is the resource. In this case, the jet ski. Let's call it jet ski number 1 in case that we want to have more than one. Now we have a jet ski. We need to allocate working hours to this jet ski, right? So we're gonna add working hours. Let's say that it's gonna work every single day, so we don't choose any date, it will apply all of them, and then it's gonna work from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. This is the working hours of this specific jet ski, but you could have others with different schedules and offer a bigger amount of hours. Now, priority, we are not concerned with this right now. If we had different working hours for the same resource, which we could have, then we would add a different priority, right? So we could also apply this resource to a specific services. If we had more than one service and we want to limit this instructor or this jet ski only for extreme excursions, and then we have very expensive one and one that is not as expensive. We can differentiate as much as you want. Let's create this resource with the working hours. Then we have closing period. This refers to the period that this resource will not be available. It will be on repair, it will be on vacation, or it will just be closed this location, right? Then the capacity for this jet ski, we need to add a capacity. How many spots can this jet ski handle? So because it's a jet ski, it can only handle one spot. If it was a boat trip, maybe the boat can handle 8 people. So for now, we're gonna leave it as 1, right? And then we already added the capacity of this resource. And then the metadata is so we can send and retrieve data whenever we are booking using more advanced things that are not necessary for this example. Right, so we have a service that now we can link it with our resource. We have jet ski rental, and then we have jet ski number 1. But chances are that we're renting more than one jet ski at the same time, so we can create as many as we need. Let's go ahead and create jet ski number 2. So we give it a name, we add the working hours, so let's do this time from 10 to 8 p.m. And then, very important, we add the capacity that, as we said, is 1 per jet ski or a couple per jet ski. This means 1 booking per resource. So we create, and now we have this. We can also link it to the same service. Now we have 1 service with 2 different resources. Be careful not to connect it here because this means interdependent resources. For example, tennis instructor, tennis court. These 2 things must be available for you to be able to rent a tennis lesson. But in the case of the jet ski, we cannot allocate the ocean or the instructor because it's just a machine. If it was a jet ski tour, then you can link it with any guide available, for example. So we have 2 jet skis, but you can have 25 jet skis if that's what your business requires. So we have the resources. Now let's continue taking care of the services. Now we need to add the pricing to this service. Very important. We need to allocate the currency and the taxes before anything. So let's allocate dollars and then a 15% inclusive tax rate. Now with the taxes and the currency set, we can add our pricing. Remember that our service was 1 hour of duration, so let's allocate 1 hour. And then we need to choose a minimum amount of hours that you can rent. So let's add 1 hour there, and then a maximum amount of hours that you can rent. So let's add 5 hours. And then the price per hour will be $90. Just like that, we have a pricing already. But what if we want to add dynamic pricing? We can add a second pricing rule right here, and then we're gonna call the price 120. We need to have the same presets, so 1 hour, and then minimum 1 hour, maximum 5. But this time the price is 120. This rule needs to have a higher priority because it needs to override the previous rule. And then we're gonna limit this by day. So on Saturdays and Sundays, the price will be 120. But beware that you can limit this by hours, by resources, just so we can make it super customizable. So we're gonna create this, and now we have two different pricing. We have one with priority number 2, only for Sunday and Saturday of 120, and then we have one with priority number 1 at $90 every single time besides this higher priority rule. Okay, so now we have pricing, right? What about settings? Settings is what we just covered before. It's instant, confirm, or prepayment. We can change that at any time. Then we have availability period, which when is this service available, but it's in this case it's limited by the resource schedule. Then we have the duration that we can change. We have the time intervals. The time interval is 10, 11, 12. This is how it's going to be displayed for availability. But in case that we want to make this interval smaller, like 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, or 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, etc., we will modify that here. And then we have the buffer before and after. So it's how much extra time does the resource needs to be booked beyond the scope of the service. For example, car rental company needs 6 more hours to take care of this Toyota Prius. It needs to clean it, wash it, refuel it. So whenever you return this car into the car rental, it will not be available in the booking system instantly. It's the same here. So the jet ski requires 30 minutes to be refueled and checked. Whenever you rent it for 1 hour, the system understands that it will not make it available for 2.5 hours if we had a buffer of 30 minutes after, or a buffer of 30 minutes before. So with all these things, I guess we can test it. And to test everything, how it's looking before you need to integrate it into your web or your app, we're going to go to component.bookla.com and then click here on Bookla Styler app. Here is a mock-up of our booking component with some preset values. But how do we link it with our real company? Very easy. We need to fill out this data. The region of our server, in my case, is Europe, and then we need an API key, company ID, and service ID. Let me show you how to get all this. Back into Bookla, the service ID is when you click on service, on top of the service names, there is type, flexible, and then it says ID. We're gonna click in this little square and just put that information there, service ID. Now we need the company ID, which is the same case. We click on the name of the company. Again, we copy the ID on top and we add it there. Now for the API key, it's very simple, but it takes a little longer. We're gonna go to the Bookla platform and click on developers. Here, as you can see, I have multiple API keys for different companies. We're gonna create another one. We need to give it a name, Beach Company. And then to make it easy, we can just click here, client access. Very important that you don't enable any of the other permissions, because then that API key has the power to modify the booking component. When do you use these full access keys? For example, if you want to connect your Bookla with Claude, for example, and then have them take care of everything, creating services or giving you analysis, it's possible. I will show you how to do it. Then you will need one with full access. But for now, we need the one with client access. Very important. Please copy this into a secure place. I'm gonna put it here on my other screen because it will not be displayed again. And if you lose it, you need to create another one. So now that we have that one, let's put it here. And boom, magic. Now you see that we have our booking component fully working. So we have 2 different jet skis, and then we can buy increments of hours. Feels like magic, right? But this is not everything yet. Now that we're here on the styler, you can style and you can play around with the style. With the, for example, the color of the text, you can make it blue, white, or leave it black. The background color, same. And then you can go ahead and change the layout, the padding, the font, the buttons, the typography, for example, the radius, everything you can modify to make this look native to your app or to your web. Then under config, there is a lot other things that you can config. For example, I don't like for people to see choose the jet ski, because what if we don't want them to choose, right? You can just hide this resource selector, or you can enable it in case that you have a better jet ski than the other and then you want to upsell that. But a better way to upsell the jet ski is how I'm going to show you right now, because we can add add-ons and we can upsell services, products, or even a better spot on the movie theater, or whatever you want to upsell, you can upsell. Business owners like to upsell. So let me show you how to upsell. Here under add-ons, we're going to enable the add-ons. Right now there is not any add-ons, but we're going to create one. Let's go back to Bookla platform and add an add-on. For that, we're going to click on plugins, and then we're going to find service add-ons right here. Clicking on add, confirming, and now it's here on the left. We click there and we can add our first add-on. You need to have in mind that there is 2 types of add-on, individual or single add-ons like towel. You can buy 1, 2, 3, 4 extra towels, or like the jet ski. It can be standard, pro, pro max, super pro, duper max, and then you can have an array of options for just one upsell. Let's create one of those, add-on group. Let's give it a name of jet ski type, right? Now we need to add to each member, it will be 1 option. If you needed more options than just 2, you can add another one. But for now, I'm just gonna use 2 options. Be aware that you need at least 2 options to make it a multiple selection add-on. This will be standard. And it will be 0. Why? Because if we're charging $90 or $100 per the jet ski, then this option is already included. But now, super fast, let's call it, or bigger engine, or 600cc, this one will be $100 more, regardless if you rented 1 hour or 7 hours. Just to have this one is $100 more, right? And then we're gonna create this. We need to give it a name to the member number 2. I put the name under the description by mistake. So as you can see, very hard to make mistakes with Bookla because it knows when you're making a mistake. Now we need to link this add-on with the service. How do we do that? Click on service add-ons and link. And then we choose that one and we link it with our service link add-on. If we had more than 1 service, then we could choose to which service link this add-on, right? If we come back here and we reload, now we're gonna see that there is an add-on at the bottom. Jet ski type. Standard for €0 or super fast for an additional €100. And whenever we choose this additional €100, it will be added to the total. So very easy to talk to the business owner and tell them, hey, what are you renting? Beach umbrellas? Why don't you upsell sunscreen? Because among 1,000 clients that you will have during the summer, this is going to generate a lot of revenue. Believe me, it will, right? So another thing that we can do with this add-on is we can make it mandatory, so require. Now, people need to choose a specific add-on before they can proceed. Because if I don't choose this require add-on, I cannot continue. So you need to make sure that these people will see that there is a faster jet ski available for only $100 more. For some people, it's nothing and they will buy it. And your client, the business owner, will love this feature. And you're already looking like a rock star right here, right? So this is not everything that we can do. Before we integrate this component in the web, let me show you some other tricks. We're going to stay here on the plugins for a little bit, right? The next one I'm going to be working with is promo codes. We're going to add promo codes, and this is very easy to handle. Create new promo code, and we're going to call it jet ski, and then the title will be discount. Description is not necessary, but it's optional. And then we can choose to provide a discount based on percentage or a fixed amount. I like the fixed amount ones because it's straight up. So you're gonna get $20 off. We can use this again, tell the business owner that he can promote the business, he can have a referral program. So every time you bring me a friend, you get 20% off, whatever you wanna use. This is a very nice tool to promote services. And then we can use the usage type, single use, unlimited. The active period is whenever it's active, whenever it can be used. So you don't need to be concerned with any of those rules. You can also apply this to a specific service. So whenever we have more than one service, we can limit the discount or apply a different discount to those services. Very interesting. We'll come back here whenever we add the other services. Let's create that for now. And now that we have a promo code, we come back here, and then we need to enable promo codes right here. Now there is a spot there for promo codes. And if I add my promo code there, it's giving me a $20 discount. Now you're looking not like a rock star, like a super duper rock star. Nice. More things that we're doing here. Let's add payments. How do we add payments? Oh my God, so complicated. No, it's not. Super simple. We add the Stripe plugin or any other plugin that you like from your payment gateways, and then we just need to add the secret key here. Let's go get that one right now. Here on the dashboard, we need to click on developers, API keys, and then copy this secret key. Back to Bookla, put the secret key right there. And then we need 3 different URLs: success, failure, and cancel. By the way, you can also use the URLs of your payment provider to fetch further information, but this is a whole nother topic. But if you wanted to, if you're into this deep kind of analytics, filling out a CRM, you can do that from the payment gateway. There is a full tutorial on how to do so. So now that we have this, let's go back to Framer and gather our success. There it is. There has to be a quicker way to do this. Of course there is, but this is the one that happened right now. I guess I can not open the page and copy the link, right? Yeah, I can. If you know a better way to fetch these links besides just going there and clicking publish and copying, please leave it right here on the comments. I will be glad to learn this. So back to Bookla, we have the failure, and then we need the cancel. There we go. Now we click connect, and now we have a payment gateway. Since we're receiving money from people, now we need to set up cancellation policy and refund policy and rescheduling policy. This is very important, and it's a phone call that nobody wants to have. Talk to the business owner and tell them, do you actually want to handle this angry tourist complaining about their cancellation policy and you having to physically make a refund? No, it's all automated in an email. Go there, click there, whatever happens there is what you can get. So, booking rules. We're going to add booking rules here. And then we're going to click on booking rules and we're going to customize those. First thing we need to do is add cancellation and rescheduling rules. Let's add the cancellation rule first, and we call it cancellation policy. We can apply this rule only to one service. If I chose this, whenever I create more services, they will be exempt of this rule, or I can leave it empty so it can apply to all the services I provide. Now, pay attention here. 24 hours before, you will get 100% refund. This is the standard, but we can change this to 95% if you cancel 48 hours before. We add another rule. If you cancel between 48 and 24 hours, you will get 80% back. And if you cancel less than 24 hours, you will get 10% back. As you can see, we can create as random rules as we want, or as rigid or as flexible as we like. Let's create the rule, and now we need to add a rescheduling policy. We're gonna click here and then we give it a name, rescheduling policy. Again, selecting services will limit, leave it empty will not. And then we have how many hours before the service you can rebook the same service. Since we're not losing any money, let's keep it at 24. We cannot add another rule because there is no partial rescheduling, right? Create. And don't forget to add contact details and some information that will be displayed on this link to manage your booking. So let's add an email, phone number, and then we can add some message like working hours are limited to this or whatever. So working hours are from Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. And then we take care of the grammar very quick. And now we can create. So just like that, we automated completely the rescheduling and refund policy. You don't need to refund anything, it will happen automatically as long as it happens within those constraints. So no more talking on the phone for the business owner. Great. What else can we do? We need to take care also of the notifications. Notifications are very important in this type of businesses. So let's go ahead and figure out how to handle the notifications. We have merchant, client, and reminders. This is template holders, and then we have settings. On the settings, we can add a reply to email, which is mine there, and then we can add the sender's email and the name of the company. But beware that to do this, you need a custom domain email. You cannot do it with Gmail or Hotmail or any of these free domains. So let's create the first confirmation email for our customer. We need to click on Create Client Template and make sure that client is selected. And then we need to choose the booking event that will trigger this. As you see, there is many of them, but right now we need confirmation. Since we're talking about a template, of course we can modify this template using variables. Variables is these bracket words that will be replaced with real data. So for example, hello, name of the client, we put it there, and then we can also even add the last name of the customers. Where is this variable? Let's go there, docs.bookla.com. Here on the start guide, there is a guide and a menu on how to do every single thing. Right now, we're concerned with the email notifications plugin, so we're gonna click there, notification creation, and this is all the different variables that you can use. I'm gonna copy the last name. By the way, if you need to create a very, very powerful email, there is metadata and conditional logic and everything that you can add. So in the case that whenever jet ski is booked, this email will appear. Whenever paddle surf is booked, this email will appear. If the resource is Christian, then this email will appear. Only in one single template. It's amazing what you can do with conditional logic and also metadata. For now, we just need a simple confirmation email, and then I'm just showing you how to use the different variables. Now we change the subject line to this email. Your booking is confirmed, and then I'm gonna enable the attached QR code. Also, I'm gonna make sure that it's active so it can be working. Just like that, we created an email for our clients. There is something there in this template. Resource, if it was like a lawyer firm, it will be amazing because you know who is your attorney, but jet ski number 2 doesn't sound that attractive, right? So I'm gonna delete that part there, and then you can customize everything else. Here, I'm also gonna add something that is important, an address link, for example. Find us here. I'm just gonna go to the maps and to the beach. Right here, this is going to be our meeting point right here. Copying this and adding the link there. Now we're gonna add the manage URL. So this is the unique link that will allow each customer to manage its unique booking. Where do we find this variable? Well, I already told you that you can come here and figure out everything that can be added to the emails. If you need to manage your booking, click here. And this URL alone will save so much time because people can reschedule, cancel, and do everything that we already set with our rules. Let's go ahead and see how everything is working right here on the styler. just refresh this a little, and then let's say that we're renting 2 hours. Right here, we have our promo code there, but what if I type this? It will not work. Okay, promo code is responsive. I'm gonna select the super fast jet ski, and then I'm gonna continue. Just gonna add my data here quickly. Booking confirm. Amazing. So did I get an email? Let's see. Right there. Booking confirmed. I have a QR code. The service is jet ski rental. Your booking is confirmed. Hello, Felix Perez. The variables are working amazing. What about the Google Maps link? Is there. And what about the managing URL? So first thing we see here is the information we provided. The phone number, working hours are from Monday to Friday, the text that we input there. And then as you can see, it says you can cancel this booking. But there is no refund policy yet. And I cannot reschedule this booking because it's too soon into the future. It's happening today. Let's repeat the booking, but before we do that, we need to take care of some other things. So the service needs to be paid. So we're gonna go to service and not make it instant, make it require prepayment, saved. And then we need to book a service that is longer into the future. Go to our styler back and make a booking for Saturday, right? Okay, so we make sure that it's not today. Let's apply our promo code. Let's select the super fast and let's book 3 hours. Okay. Now we need to pay $440. Let's continue and again add our data. This time, as you can see, we're redirected to Stripe. And then we have the super fast here and the breakdown of our service, the full total, and then we need to make the payment. By the way, if you're testing Stripe on the sandbox and you add 424242 card number and then any date on the future, any name, any 3 numbers, you could test it. It will allow you to pay, but only works in the sandbox. Doesn't work on Amazon, sadly. Success, great. Let's go to the email and see what's going on here. So we have a second email this time. And then let's see what about this manage URL. This time we can reschedule the booking, so we can choose any other date. Now as business owners, we're peacefully quiet, nobody calling, and then we can cancel the booking. But it says that beware that we're only getting 95% return. With all this, we're almost ready to integrate everything on the web. We're just lacking a few services and resources, but to save some time, I'm gonna ask for the help of my friend Claude. Hi, I need you to create in the company in Bookla called Beaching, I need you to add the following 2 services: snorkeling rental and surfing lessons. For the surfing lessons, the surf instructor number 1 will have the same working hours as the jet ski rental. And the snorkeling equipment, it will have also the same working hours as the jet ski. For the snorkeling, per hour, the service will be $50, and per surfing lessons, the hour will be $300. Use the same setup as you did for the jet skis. On the meantime, let's go ahead and integrate the component inside our web. So we need to choose the intended location for our plugin. Remember, we're working right now with jet ski. In the meantime, Claude is making the other services. So we're gonna choose the jet ski page, which is right here. And then we have this contact me form that we're gonna quickly replace for our component. So we're gonna select it, make sure that we choose the correct layer, which is this one, and then we're gonna replace with. Remember that I show you how to get the plugin, but if you forgot, we go to browse all and then you click here browse all and you will find Bookla. So what I'm gonna do right now is to get the flexible component just there on the side, and instead of trying to put it right there where it belongs, I'm just gonna replace this with that component. So replace with Bookla flexible component. And there is right there where it needs to be. It's already sized and pre-styled. Now to make it feel like it belongs to this web, I'm gonna make the highlight of the brand orange, like the web has. So I'm gonna click on the component, and then here on the right side, there is all the configurations that you can add to this component. I'm gonna make it small, and then I'm gonna leave everything as is, but I'm gonna change the brand color to orange. So Here under brand, I'm gonna choose the orange, and then on the button, I will do the same. Great. Now we need to connect it, just like we did with the styler. For that, we need to click here on Bookla, choose the region of the server, Europe, and then we need the API key that I have right here. And then we also need the company ID. Remember that we click on the company, copy the ID from there, and just put it back in frame. We also need the service ID, which we do the same. So jet ski rental, service ID, back to Framer, service ID there, and then a little magic and a little hope. Tan tan tan. We have it. Look at this thing. Beautiful. Now we can rent our jet ski depending on the time, and we can choose jet ski 1, jet ski 2. We don't want that. We can rent all the different increments. Great. Now it still needs a little more touch-ups to make it perfect. Select the component, and then we need to edit the duration. We need to tell it that the intervals is 1 hour. Also that the minimum duration is 1 hour and the maximum is 5. Additionally, we need to enable the promo codes here on the code field, and we need to enable the add-ons also here, right there. With these two things, it should be working like it was on the styler. So I'm gonna choose for that date, 2 hours, and then jet ski type is mandatory, and then we can add the promo code. That's still working. Great. Let's get rid of select resource because we agreed that we didn't want that. Well, I agree. And we're just gonna hide it here. Resources, not visible. By the way, here on code field, you can edit all these fields, the placeholders, you can edit everything. But for now, it's very nice, the basic configuration. Right now, we don't have the select resource, we just have add your time, select the date, and then we have the add-ons that we wanted. Look at this. This thing feels like it was meant to be in this web. Great. By the way, how's Claude doing? Is all good? Did I run out of credits? No, it seems to be working good. We have our resources, pam pam pam, created by AI. And then we have our services created by AI. Great. So we have snorkeling. Let's see, does it have a pricing? It does have a pricing, but it didn't have the tax. Always need to review what AI is making. What about surfing lessons? It has the resource. The pricing is there. It didn't add the tax. It's my fault, I forgot to tell him that. So this allows already to integrate these services into the web already. Let me copy this component since it's already pre-styled already. And then I'm just gonna paste it into the other places. So we need surfing lessons right here. I'm gonna add that, and then I'm gonna delete the form. My component is there pre-styled. We just need to add the service ID because it contains already the information about the company and the API. So I'm gonna add the service ID of surfing lessons. Surfing lessons, service ID right here. And there we have it. Our booking component for surfing lessons. $300 per hour as we indicated Claude. So as you can see, we still have the limitation because we didn't set this duration and we didn't set the select resources. But surf instructor number 1 and the functionality is there. Let's go back and do that very quickly. So we select the component and then we need to add the duration. Remember, it's 1 hour, 0 minutes, and then minimum 1, maximum 5. And we need to hide select resources. In this case, I'm gonna enable the add-ons and the promo codes because we do have a promo code, but we don't have any add-ons for this specific service. But if you wanted one like extra wax for your board, an additional life vest, whatever you need, you can upsell there. Great. We just need to take care of 2 more services. One of them is the same and is being created by AI. So let's go ahead and integrate our component there, which is snorkeling right here. There it is, snorkeling. at $50 per hour. 3 hours, $200. Amazing. Let's hide the select resource like always, and then enable the add-ons and the promo codes. Promo code there. Magnificent. For the last service is a little more tricky because I want to make something as complex as you might face with every type of client. So if we go here to the paddle surf choosing of the time, because we want to allow a group of friends to rent 4 paddle boards simultaneously in the same time span. So how do we handle that? I created this choose your time, and then behind each one of these there will be another page, and then each one of these components will have one for 1 hour, one for 2 hours, and one for 3 hours. By clicking there, it will take us here, and here we're gonna add each one of those components. We're gonna handle it very simple. We're gonna create a service called paddle surf 1 hour, paddle surf 2 hours, and paddle surf 3 hours, and we're gonna link them to the same resources. So let's go ahead and do that right now. We're gonna add a service called create. This type is gonna be group booking because it will allow people to do multiple bookings. Let's say that you're going with your 10 friends, like usually happens during the summer or spring break. So the duration will be increments of 1 hour, and the type, it will be prepayment. We create this, and we need to link it with a resource that we don't have. Let's create this. Paddle surf. And don't worry that we can allocate spots, so you don't need to create 20 of them. We just need to allocate working hours from 10 to 8 every single date. And we need to add a capacity. The capacity is 10 people. Create. Now, back to the service, we can link our paddle surfing with paddle surfing. We linked, and then we need to add a schedule. When is this event gonna start to happen? So this is where it differs a little from the previous one. We need to allocate the beginning of this event. Let's say that it will happen tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. And then how often will it repeat? It seems like it's super complicated to add a repeat rule, but it's very easy. I'm not gonna ask you to read the Bookla documentations, which I could. I'm gonna give you a cheat code. If you click here on text magic, it will take you to this rule builder, and then we need one that repeats every hour, and we have the frequency here, then hourly, and then the interval every 1 hour. We're gonna add this rule here, and we're gonna create. Now we need to add the capacity. Let's add the capacity. It's gonna have 10 spots, and then the pricing. We set the currency, the taxes, and now we add the pricing. It will be $50 per hour. Now the settings, it requires prepayment. Great. Now let me show you how to add this to our paddleboard. We need to go to the 1 hour paddleboard here and then replace this. But this time we need a different component. So I'm gonna go to plugins, from recent plugins. This time we need group component. So I'm gonna add it right there. Then I'm gonna replace the form with my component. There it is. We have one already, and as you know, it takes no time to make it look native. Here on the participants, we need to allocate the maximum amount of participants. So since we had 10 spots, it needs to be 10 people maximum. Then we need to, of course, link it to our company. And we can test. So, as you can see, in all the different dates, we have the number of participants. So we can choose 4 people wants to rent a paddleboard at 12. Let's see. So let's choose a specific date. And let's make something for testing purposes. I'm gonna make this service non-pay, so we don't have to go through the payment process, so we can see how I behave. Okay, so for Thursday the 7th at 10 a.m., I'm gonna choose 7 people. So remember that they only have 10 paddle boards. What would happen if somebody wants to rent more than they already have. Let's see if it works. So 350, Thursday at 10 a.m. We continue, and then let's just add the data there. Good, we have the booking. Now let's go again to paddle surf and choose 1 hour. And now we will see that whenever I try to rent this paddle, they only have 3 available. So I have 1 still available, 2 still available, 4 not available anymore. Now we just need to add the rest of the services, 2 hour and the 3 hour. So I'm gonna do that super quickly here. This time I'm gonna choose 2 hours. I'm gonna link with the same resource so they can be interconnected, otherwise people can overbook the same paddles. Then I'm gonna add the schedule, repeating the same thing as I did. This time I'm gonna add the beginning date tomorrow at 10, but instead of having the rule that repeats every 1 hour, I'm gonna have the rule that repeats every 2 hours. So coming back to our cheat codes here, custom codes, we select hourly, and this time it will be every 2 hours. So the rule is the same with a different frequency. We add the rule there, we link it with our resource, we need to add the capacity, remember we only have 10, and then we need the pricing. This time the pricing will be 90, and we have it. Let me go ahead and create the other one, the 3 hour one. This time the interval will be 3 hours, and we linked with the same resource. Adding the schedule, same process. Basically, we need to select the initial date of this event, whenever everything starts happening, and then we set how often it repeats. We add the capacity and the pricing. And this time it will be 125, if I don't remember correctly. Let's check the web to see what it says. So 3 hours, it was 125, correct. So 3 hours, 125, and we're all good. Now we just need to integrate this there. Very easy. This time we're gonna copy this one and just gonna put it there. And we need to connect the component with the correct ID. So this is 2 hours. I'm gonna copy this ID and put it right there. Now let's do the same with the 3 hour one. And we're going to add the ID of that service. Great, now we should have everything fully working as it should be. But in the meantime, we can go ahead and tell Claude to create more things. Please add more jet skis, 2 more with the same schedule, another instructor with the same schedule, and link them to the services that they correspond: surfing, instructor, and jet ski rental, so we can have more availability of resources. Thank you. Great, let's test how this is working so far. And here we have the 3 hour for 4 friends. We can get rid of the resource and we can enable the add-ons and the promo codes. Great. Now let's publish the web and let's give it a full run so you can see everything that we did working on a final product. So let's go back to the initial part and let's give a tour of the full web to our final customer, which is the owner of this business. So, Mr. Smith, you have this nice web that nobody calls you on the phone anymore, and you want to rent the jet skis? It's fine. How many hours? Great, no more availability today, and you don't need to be busy with this. People can rent it up to 5 hours for Thursday at 3. What type of jet ski you want to offer? Remember, you can upsell this. People can add the more expensive one, and you want to provide a jet ski promo code. We're going to continue, and then we're gonna make the purchase. I'm going with my friend tomorrow. Now we have a working web. Can you imagine this web just with a send me a message? No way. success. Let's check our email. We have it here. We have a new email right there. And then we have the jet ski rental. That was the previous one. Now this is the correct one. 530 euros. We use the promo code right there, and we can again cancel this. You can cancel this booking with only 10% refund, by the way, because this is too soon. This is less than 24 hours. So everything is working perfect. Let's keep checking out the web. That's one there. What about the paddle? The paddle was the tricky one, right? So we need to choose the duration of our services. I'm going with 2 friends and we want to rent it 2 hours. How many friends? Great, 2 friends. Amazing. We didn't publish this select resource for the 2 hours, but this is nothing major because we can edit everything in just few clicks. Do not show, and we republish this. So coming back to our web, we just need to refresh, and then editing the web is beautiful because there is not a lot of coding or nothing, just one panel, Bookla right there, and then you choose the date you want to go, your mates, and you're ready to get 3 paddle boards X day, right? No need to do the booking, you already know the process. This was the tricky one. And then if we want to have 3 hours, same thing. Beautiful. Right, do you want to enable the promo codes for this service? Oh my god, how difficult can it be? Very easy. Code field, yes. And then for the 3 hours also. Code field, yes. We publish, and we come back here. There it is, promo codes. Jet ski, give you the discount. If we type some other things, it will not give you the discount. What else do we have? We have something else that we didn't even do because Claude did it for us. It was surfing. Let's make sure that surfing works. Of course it works. How many hours of lesson do you need? It will be $1,500, but it's fine. And why not? We use our promo code. So now it's 1,480. What else do we have? Do we have any more services? Yes, I guess we did have some more. Snorkeling. Snorkeling, same story. So right here, we can get it. We have our promo code. And when we continue, we can make our booking. Now, this is something that I will pay for, to be honest. And this is something that us developers can take advantage of because the customer didn't know all this. You know these features, you know these possibilities, you know the headaches that you can take away, and this is why you can sit there and say, Mr. Smith, this web is $3,000 because only on upsells during this summer you're gonna make more than that. Try it. Put a more expensive jet ski and see how many crazy people will want that. And it's true. This is how business works. So don't be afraid of offer features. Be afraid of giving a crappy web for them to be bitching at the end. Well guys, that's it for today. By now you should be an expert in any type of booking websites, and you can impress the business owners with all the additional features. If you still have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them down here in the comment section. If you found this content useful, please share a like with us, and to that friend that doesn't know how to build a booking website, please send them this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Bookla channel so you can stay up to date with the latest releases. Thanks for watching, see you next time.